Hello, I am the Gothic Rose, hostess of the Dark Entertainment Network. Welcome to the Den. This is my quick version of today's podcast because my internet is still out and Spectrum's not here yet. So here we go. Yes, this is all performative theater. I have been calling it theatrics for a very long time. So let's get into what that means. Check this out. While we were all distracted by an ad. From CNN, Maxwell offers to testify before Congress, but with major conditions, including immunity. So the already guilty offender, accomplice of Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, has offered to testify before Congress, but she wants all of these conditions, including immunity, and a whole list of demands. Now, her attorneys sent Comer a letter on Tuesday saying that they initially decided to invoke her Fifth Amendment rights, but then offered to cooperate with Congress if a fair and safe path forward can be established. Did anyone care about a fair or safe path for the victims? So they're going on about, how this needs to be fair and, this could potentially taint any future jury pool in a future trial. And then they're compounded all of these concerns together because members of Congress appear to have prejudiced Ms. Maxwell's credibility without even listening to what she has to say, looking at documentation, or anything that corroborates what she says. But an oversight committee spokeswoman on Tuesday rejected the idea of giving Ghislaine Maxwell immunity. The oversight committee will respond to Ms. Maxwell's attorney soon, but will not consider granting congressional immunity for her testimony, the spokeswoman said, and that, I think, is a good thing. She should not get any kind of immunity. And this goes on to say, I don't think there are many Republicans that want to give immunity to someone that may have been trafficking children, Comer told CNN last week. So, of course, these lawyers for Maxwell laid out their conditions. And it's ridiculous. So the interview can't happen at the correctional facility where she's serving her sentence. To prepare adequately for any congressional deposition and to ensure accuracy and fairness, we would require the committee questions in advance. Surprise questions would be both inappropriate and unproductive. No, I don't think so. I think that is way too much privilege. And the interview would be scheduled only after the resolution of her Supreme Court petition and her forthcoming habeas petition. This goes on to say that the Supreme Court will not act on Maxwell's petition until October, when the justices are scheduled to return. So her attorneys say that if her demands cannot be met, Maxwell will have no choice but to invoke her Fifth Amendment rights. So I think that this is all horrific for the victims, and instead of focusing on this secret deal that she thinks she made with Todd Blanche, everyone needs to be focusing on the victims. Please stop putting everything else in the way of victims of trafficking, victims of DV, victims of SA, victims of anything harmful. It's to the point where it's going overboard, and guilty people are getting away with too much while we fight over microaggressions. Trust me on this. I've been around almost 50 years, Gen X. I had a rough life. You see all this hair, this gray hair, this white hair. This is from stress my whole life. You shouldn't have this much at my age. I am trying to bring you everything as fairly and honestly as possible, with a bit of conspiracy theory in there, because there's no way this is normal. Let me know what you think in the comments.